Well, Toronto has a murky connection to a white power leader who is making international headlines. And Richard Spencer, the man who recently gave a controversial Hail Trump speech in the U.S., complete with Nazi salutes, says his movement knows no borders.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Richard Spencer coined the term alt-right, a sanitized version of white nationalism. Some of his followers respond to his Hail Trump with a Nazi salute, a gathering that has drawn international condemnation.
There were a handful of people who gave a Nazi salute, and, you know, I think we should probably knock that off, but the fact is that it was done in the same ironic exuberance as Hail Trump.
Spencer, speaking on Skype from his parents' home in Montana, is considered the father of the new white nationalist movement, which oddly enough started right here in Toronto.
I was living in Toronto around 2010. So interestingly, and into 2011. So interestingly, the website alternativeright.com was based in Toronto at its very origins. I was operating not anonymously, but basically operating from a home office.
And Spencer says Canadians who don't believe he has followers here should think again.
Undoubtedly, I think Canadians are more reluctant to hold up a whiskey glass and say, "Hail Trump." I wouldn't underestimate its power and its reach.
Barbara Perry has conducted one of the largest of its kind studies on hate groups in Canada, and she says Richard Spencer is right.
It's really facing us head on now, not just in the U.S., but it's spilled over. It's a porous border, especially when we're talking about language and speech.
Perry says the coiffed, charming, professional messaging from Spencer and his followers have for some normalized what would once have been more easily denounced.
But they're still clearly, anti-immigrant, xenophobic, anti-Muslim. The difference is in how they present that in a way that appeals to more people and isn't as frightening, if you will, as the black-booted neo-Nazis.
You're a little welcome to Canada.
Perry points to this, the racist incident on a streetcar with a reference to Trump, and this, the alt-right posters that popped up at an East End park. Richard Spencer says it was while riding a bus in Toronto back in 2010 that his desire for a white state took hold.
I was the one and only white person in a bus of, say, 50 people. I'd certainly have no problem dealing with people as individuals. But do we really trust each other? Do we really love one another? I'm afraid the answer is no.
Barbara Perry says one way to challenge that notion is to expose it.
One of the things that my students are doing, they're providing workshops for kids on right-wing extremism and white power groups. They're appalled and shocked, but also very engaged and want to know what can they do.
Now, I met Richard Spencer and I got his email and phone number at the Republican National Convention in Cleveland this summer. To read the full story of our unusual encounter, go to our website, citynews.ca.